Well, uh, I'm not gonna lie. This is actually not bad, actually. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, back to the point of this video. So basically, I wanted to talk a little bit about upcoming stuff that I basically have, and I don't really know how to say it, but basically, like, uh, one of those stories that I'm making right now. I'm pretty sure, like, I already talked about where I made like seven cursed child and stuff. But basically, I've been thinking a lot about the mechanics that would be in this game, and I'm really, really excited about it. But as in for now, there won't be any type of game prototype about this. I'm just saying the concept of it. I don't really have a team. I cannot really do that. And my laptop is for Windows 10. I can't really like have Roblox Studio on that thing, okay? It's really fucking shit, I'll tell you that. But anyways, I want to talk a little bit about the concept of basically everything that I'm working on, while also like I want to talk about like how good this fucking screen is. It's because of my dad camera stand that he doesn't exactly use, but at the same time, it's really good actually. But anyways, back to the point of the video. I've been working on basically the mechanic of uh, alphabetical mechanic for each individual scenario right now. So there's gonna be alphabetical alternate universes of Seven Cursed Child that basically have different type of fighting mechanic to fit basically like different type of game genre that basically fits into the story. Since in the story, in Seven Cursed Child, there's gonna be different mechanic for different alternate universes because I want to make every single one of them unique in some certain case. For example, one of them being the most favorited one for me personally is basically X-Verse. X-Verse is basically based on X-Tale, but in a more unique type of way. In X-Verse, it's basically based on X-Tale, but at the same time, in this variant of alternate universes, everybody is killed or be killed. Okay, every single weapon will basically damage a limb, and if those limbs reach zero, if the enemy use any type of item or basically skill that basically cut the enemy, it basically just like get rid of their limb. So basically like their legs, their arm, the head, but also I don't think a torso will basically happen. But the most hardest area that is going to be in this mode is basically the head. If the body was attacked by a weapon, certain type of weapon basically have a unique effect. This is kind of similar to Limbus or Library of Ruina, where basically you get basically cards that basically deal damage to a certain limb if winning against the enemy speed. Okay, so in this situation, the faster you are, the more advantage you basically have. Even if the weapon that the enemy has is basically an insta kill weapon that has infinite durability. But anyways, I need to explain a little bit in a good detail of how will this work. So basically, the first thing, okay, the cards. Basically, certain cards have different type of ability, similar to Library of Runa having different kind of effect. Same goes with Limbus Company. But in this very moment, uh, Express is basically focused on tearing limb and damaging certain limb to basically disable certain cards. Certain cards basically needs certain limb to be on to basically work. One of these basically being a sword. If a sword is two-handed required, then if taking off one of the arm, basically some of the move will basically be disabled. A simple slash will basically require one arm, but getting rid of the main arm that holds the weapon makes it so that the other arm basically becomes weak. In certain special case, some character will basically have left or right-handed, which basically makes it so that even if you just like rip off the right arm, they're actually left-handed, gaining like the skill despite not having one of the arm. Well, some of the skills that also require a leg, usually you can basically have it. Okay, hold on. So basically, like These type of things that basically use legs are usually attacks that requires high speed, or basically like their legs need to be on. If the leg was damaged or basically injured, they basically cannot use certain move. And the main priority of this battle usually becomes like you need to attack them before they attack you, type of situation. But at the same time, like if you manage to basically damage the head, you basically get an insta kill. But the thing is that it's really risky if the person is at high speed. If the person is very tanky, you need to aim at the torso, because the torso basically makes it so that that's the main point of the area that you need to focus on, because that's basically like the weakest spot. So for example, if three different type of move, basically smash, basically using a hammer, pierce using a rapier, or slash using a sword, basically have different kind of effect, or basically in certain cases different type of visual of how the limb is cut off. If the limb was cut off by a smash, they basically got their limbs torn apart, basically making it so that one of the arm basically got torn because being smashed really hard, making it so that it flew away. If it was pierced in the arm, they will basically just be stabbed in the shoulder, making it so that they basically cannot use it at all. And in certain case, if it was slashed, the arm basically get cut off fully, just like in Metal Gear Rising, where Raiden basically lost his arm. And if any of the attack basically hits the torso, there will be some certain special effect, basically getting pierced, making it so that certain organ, if it was luckily hit, were to be damaged. If it was slashed, the ability to basically have armor will just endure it. But if it was slashed by somebody that doesn't wear armor, it is really fatal. But if it was stabbed, then it will be like actually fatal. Even if you have armor, pierce will basically uh, just ignore the armor. It just went through. And as for like smash, any type of armor that is equipped will be torn off or basically damaged from the impact of the smash. As for the head, that's the hardest part. Okay, there's like a 50% chance to miss on the leg, both legs, or basically head. There's going to be 25% chance of missing on the arm, but there's a 100% chance to hit the stomach, or basically torso. But at the same time, it's usually mainly protected, making it so that it's really tanky and difficult. So you will deal like a lot of main damage if it was in the belly or torso. You will basically deal a decent amount if it was in the limbs, and it will insta kill if the head reaches zero, even though there's a lot of HP left. So yeah, that's X Verse. But as for the other two, uh, neons, or basically Z Verse, neon with a Z, basically follow four different type of liquid that is sticky. I know it's kind of weird, but at the same time, just trust me over here, okay? So basically, the first one is going to be a red liquid. The red liquid main job is to just be as sticky as possible. However, it can still be escapable if the person moves really slowly. If it was moving too fast, it will just force it so that the energy, the kinetic energy that the person is trying to pull, will basically make it so that the uh, red liquid slime to basically just make them stick back. And if they try to move slowly, that will basically just like have a low amount of kinetic energy, making it so that they basically just escape the slime easier without it forcing them back. Basically, like, if they move fast, it will pull back. If they move slow, they will just like unable to pull them back really much. So yeah. As for the next liquid, it's the blue liquid. The blue liquid basically has currently the objective to basically make the person weapon to basically be jammed. In certain cases, if this blue liquid was exploded on a person, they basically gain like a lot of slowness, and some cases if it hits their weapon, they will basically become dull, or basically if it was a projectile weapon like a gun, they will basically have it disable. As for the special one, it needs to fuse the red and the blue one into a purple one. Yes, it is kind of like a mix up, but there's only four different colors. Okay, I will be honest, it is kind of unique, but at the same time, it's kind of difficult to explain. The purple one actually that hasn't really made an official made uh, power yet, since it's fusing basically both red and blue slime. It basically makes it so that the purple slime to be unique in a certain case. It doesn't really make sense how I should probably make it, but it's basically like a bouncy type of slime. Its main purpose is to basically be used as some sort of attack that basically bounce off the enemy, but at the same time, it's kind of complicated. It's basically like a material that can be used as something to deflect an object. So basically, the purple slime will basically just deflect certain physical or basically attacks. It doesn't really make sense how it does it, but that's basically how it works. But the most common one is the green slime. The green slime basically works as basically any sort of material to make a weapon, but in a unique way. So basically, like if it was swing fast, it will basically work as a Newtonian liquid. How it works is basically it will be really soft if it moves slow. Basically, like if I hit it like this, it will just feel like a jelly noodle. It feels like a noodle getting slapped onto my arm. But if I swing it really fast, it will feel like it's solid. Okay, this type of thing basically makes it so that multiple weapon basically just becomes really tough, and basically makes it so that certain item that basically works, such as a bat made of the green slime, will basically just have very hard. Okay, it is light, but at the same time it is really solid, making it so that certain type of object, even a brick wall, to be basically destroyed with a single smack. But at the same time, one of these people that basically able to modify every single liquid into a weapon will basically have basically a Yomi hustle type of attacks, and that's basically how the game will probably be like. In this alternate universe, you basically beat the shit out of people in mid-air somehow by bouncing each other off using like slimes and shit. So yeah, as for Y-verse, I don't really have a full concept yet, but basically Y-verse is basically based on yin yang, basically darkness and light, and basically the sun is black and the moon is white. When the moon rises, it's basically giving light to Earth, while the sun basically just darkens 180% amount of the Earth, basically making half of it is black, and half of them is basically light. In this certain case, in when the sun rises, there's gonna be like monster in the darkness, and whenever there's a moon, they basically cannot stay there for too long, or else they will basically just die. Humans struggle to survive, but at the same time, they awaken certain ability called justice, where they basically can summon weapon that is light based to counteract the monster to slay it. There's three different passive that they can activate, but every battle is random. So they need to attempt three different methods to activate it to gain the advantage to win against the monster, or else they'll fucking die. That's basically how it works. So yeah, that's basically everything. The Y-verse is still work in progress, so as the other three, the other two. But for now, I just want to hear you guys listen to me talking about this, because it's really exciting to see more when I'm making it. There will be like a new video where I'm actually like posting an animation based moveset. So just wait for that. For now, that's all. Thank you.